Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're exploring something incredibly profound, and honestly, we're going to start at a slightly faster pace than usual, because, well, if you're drawn to this specific topic, there's a good chance your mind is already racing. We're looking at an ancient frequency known as Mitzrael, a code designed specifically for mental liberation. This is the one for when the mind has become the prison. Just let that sink in for a second. We aren't talking about external chains or literal locked doors here. We're talking about those times when your own thoughts, your own deeply ingrained patterns, or maybe the invisible heavy pressure of someone else in your life has literally built a cell around your consciousness. It is that heavy, undeniable feeling of being trapped by your own internal circumstances.
Which brings us to a pretty massive question. How do you unlock a door from the inside? I mean, think about it. When the jailer is your own looping anxiety, or habit you just can't shake, you can't just fight your way out, because you'd literally be fighting yourself. But there is an answer. The ancient code we're exploring today holds the exact key to that internal lock.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1, the narrow straits, recognizing the oppressed mind. The source material makes a really critical distinction right out of the gate. It is not a sharp crisis, it is compression. You see, we're not talking about acute, sudden trauma or a brief moment of panic here. We are talking about claustrophobia. It's that sensation of the space inside of you being slowly compressed by something that simply will not let up. Just a chronic, relentless squeezing of your mental bandwidth.
So how does that compression actually show up in everyday life? Well, it looks like anxiety that isn't just an isolated event, but literally the daily weather you walk through. It's intrusive thoughts that run on a relentless, high-speed loop. Or maybe it's subtle bullying or manipulation from a controlling person that slowly shrinks your personal field. It could be compulsive habits that feel like a jailer or a flattened depression, or all the vibrant dimensions of your life have just been pressed entirely flat. When you're living in these states, the days feel suffocatingly narrow.
All right, moving on to Section 2, the ancient source, the Kabbalistic code.
Now, what's really interesting about this frequency is the sheer precision of the system behind it. This isn't just some vague philosophy, it's highly structured esoteric data. We're looking at the precise metadata of Mitzrael. Its core meaning is literally God who relieves the oppressed. It carries a gematria, a numerical resonance of 430. It aligns with the Sephira of Hod, which is all about intellect and structure, and it operates within the specific astrological decan of Capricorn 25 to 30 degrees. But the really fascinating part is its Hebrew root, Metzar.
And this is where the absolute genius of this code reveals itself. You have Mitzrayim, the Hebrew word for Egypt, which serves as the ultimate biblical archetype for bondage and oppression. And then you have Mitzrael, the code for release. Here's the kicker. They both share the exact same three root letters, Mem, Tzadi, and Resh, MTZR. Together, those letters literally translate to narrow straits. It's a stunning linguistic paradox. The Kabbalists recognize that Mitzrael takes the exact letters that build the prison and basically rearranges them into the frequency that unlocks it. The cure is literally hidden inside the constriction.
And this perfectly brings to life what the 13th century mystic Abraham Abulafia taught. He said, the exodus from Egypt isn't really about geography at all. It's actually about the liberation of the mind from whatever has been enslaving it. The parting of the Red Sea? That's a metaphor for your mind finally leaving those narrow, suffocating straits and stepping out into the wide open sea. It's about the voice of that inner Pharaoh finally being silenced. Section 3. The diagnosis. When to run the code. So, when exactly should you pull this out of your toolkit? You'll want to deploy Mitzrael under a few specific conditions, like when you simply cannot step outside a thought loop by sheer effort, or when you need the invisible pressure of a controlling person to just lift off your shoulders. Maybe you're fighting a habit, and fighting it is only making it grip you tighter. Or, and this is beautiful, when you want to hold a freedom for someone else, like a child or a partner in mental anguish, without trying to force fix them. Notice the language there, right? It's about a lifting. It is not a fight. You are being raised up and out of the space the oppression occupies.
Actually, I want to pause here for a second, because this is an absolutely crucial point. The narrowness you are living inside right now might actually be one you created. And if it is, I know that realization can be incredibly painful. But here's the thing. The code works the exact same way. It does not shame you. It mates your recognition with that exact same lift. The key to the prison works perfectly from either side of the door, whether the oppressor is out there in the world or purely in your own head.
Section 4. The activation. Running the code.
So the crucial point is how we actually run this technology. It is a simple 4-step protocol. Ideally, you're going to want to do this for about 15 minutes. Try to find a spacious room or maybe sit by a window with a nice open view. That physical spaciousness really helps the frequency take hold. Let's walk through these steps together.
Step 1 is to receive the letters. You picture the Hebrew root reading right to left. Mem, Sadi, Resh. These are the letters of the narrow straight. Look at them directly in your mind's eye. Do not soften what they represent. The prison you are in is real. Just sit with the paradox that the letters of your constriction are also your key, and let that profound truth settle deeply in your mind.
Step 2 is to sound the name. Start softly with the constricted root Metzar. Feel the tightness of that first syllable. Then you release it into the angelic name Mitzrael. Notice how the sound inherently moves from closed and tight to wide and open. You want to do this for 3 or 4 repetitions, letting each one end increasingly more open than it began. The literal tuning of your mind actually happens in that opening arc.
Step 3 is to enter the field. This is where you close your eyes. Bring to mind the specific narrowness you're living in, but, and this is important, do not describe it to yourself in detail. Just feel the shape of the compression in your body. Then, let the frequency of Mitzrael move into that space. You aren't trying to destroy the walls of your anxiety. Rather, you'll start to notice that the walls begin to breathe. A small amount of room appears where there was literally no room before. Just rest in that new space.
Finally, step 4, seal the code. You'll speak the psalm anchor, which we're going to cover in just a moment, and as you do, place your hands lightly on the sides of your head, just for the length of one full, deep breath. Then, release. This physical motion is profound. It cements the biological and spiritual reality that your narrow place finally has a door.
Section 5. The Aftermath. Field Notes on Liberation.
And this brilliantly illustrates the subtle power of this frequency. You see, Mitzrael's effects show up as an absence rather than a presence. There usually isn't some blinding flash of light. Instead, the looping thought simply stops looping as hard. The grip of a compulsive habit just slackens a little bit. That controlling person in your life, they quietly move out of your orbit without a massive, dramatic confrontation. The true relief is found in what is no longer pressing down on you.
Now that seal you speak to end the activation, it's a specific anchor from Psalm 145:17. The Lord is righteous in all his ways and holy in all his works. Why this specific verse? Because it reminds your entire energetic field that oppression is not the deepest thing in the universe. A trustworthy, fundamentally good order is. You're basically affirming that the larger structure of reality is safe enough for you to finally open up. Before we finish, I want to make sure we cover these extremely practical pairings. Listen, if you're dealing with clinical mental illness or interpersonal danger, Mitzrael accompanies professional support. It absolutely does not replace it. This frequency makes clinical work more effective, not optional. Also, if you need strength and clear sight to go along with your new freedom, pair this with Iael, which is code 8. And if this liberation involves mending a relationship after a controlling pattern is broken, you pair it with Rehael, code 6. I want to leave you with a provocative thought to chew on today. What narrow place have you been living inside? And, more importantly, are you ready to finally walk out? The door is unlocked. You just have to turn the handle. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Take a deep breath, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching. If something in this resonated with you, then you're already closer than you think. If you're ready to go deeper, there's a link below to my book, Quantum Angel Codes, The 72 Hidden Names of God. This isn't theory, it's a framework you can actually use. Tap the link below and step into it.